and good evening, everybody. This is Sarah and Sylvia and Sandy, three of the paranormal sisters. We are missing our other sister tonight, which is Mary, and she's getting some rest with her hubby and granddaughter. And guess what they're doing? They are flying out in the morning and they are headed to Ireland. So, y'all send good wishes their way for a safe flight and a safe trip while they're over there. And we can't wait to get them back already because we're already
A
missing
year.
sister.
A
So,
year.
yeah, yeah. Well, before we get started tonight, girls, I've got some announcements to make, and I'm sure that Stan and Teresa would want me to go ahead and announce this. For those that are looking to be vendors and also people that want to come and experience the Paracomic-Con, it has been moved from October the 4th and the 5th up to September the 14th and the 15th. So you're going to want to mark your calendars for those dates, September 14th and 15th in Ozark, Alabama. That is the Paracomic-Con, and this year's theme is horror. So you guys are not going to want to miss all that. Okay, so that's the first announcement that we've got going on, and then I want to thank our sponsors. And I don't have the entire list. The sponsors are growing, you guys. We've got Rogue Turtle in Enterprise, Alabama. That's Aaron at 202 South Main Street. You guys, if you're ever over in Enterprise, Alabama, go in and say hello to Erin and let her know that the Paranormal Sisterhood sent you. Okay. She's got all kinds of beautiful things that I'm sure would fancy you or somebody in your family
All of
that
us.
you would want to buy. Yeah, we love it. Love the store. Then we've got Camp 31, Adam Manasco and his new partner back with him. Mr. Larry came back into it. So that's Camp 31, the best barbecue around, and the buffet is amazing. And Adam cooks the best steak I have ever had. I'm not joking. So that's Camp 31 in Bruton, Alabama. If you're hungry and want a good meal and you're local, travel over there and get a good meal. And we got Kitchen Witching with my sister here, Sylvia. She makes all kinds of jams and jellies and delectables. I mean, it's amazing. I've had some of her jams and they are delicious. And she
Mhm.
makes tumblers as well. So if you want to hit her up off of the page, feel free to do that. And of course, Webb Radio Network. We can't thank Stan and Teresa enough for all of the behind the scene things that they do to keep all of us going on our podcast and radio shows to be with you guys. So that's just a few. There's some more, and I apologize to those other sponsors. Don't have you written down, so I'll get you next time. But tonight, we wanted to come on, and Sister Sandy had a good idea to talk about astral projection, or what's the other word for it, Sandy?
Oh, I have no idea. I just learned about it when we did the mirror door and we experienced it.
Oh, the mirror door.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Is there another word for it?
there is, but off the top of my head, I can't think what it is. But um, in lieu of not being able to figure out what the other word for it is, what it is some people have the gift of astral projection, astral traveling, if you will. And that is when they lay down at night and go to sleep. Their body is at rest, but yet their soul, their spirit, or their essence, whatever you want to call it, is able to come out of their body and basically travel
Yeah.
to wherever. Okay. I personally have not had that happen to me,
That
and
you
I'm
know of.
not.
That you know of.
Yes, you're right. That I know of. Correct.
'Cause I'm sure we all
Um,
have.
yeah, that's a possibility at one point in time that, we may have had that happen to us and we just didn't know. And we woke up the next morning and wasn't able to remember it. So yeah, it is possible. So what would you like to start with, Sandy, in your experience of astral projection?
Um, the astral projection that I went through very first time was not me, it was somebody else coming into the home that we were at.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
and I didn't know what was going on. Mary did. The fact that if they're, so how do you say, if they're, if they know that they can astral project, they can move things, you hear noises. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I think new people that don't know what's going on, when you wake up tired and you don't know what you've been doing all the time, and or some people even wake up with bruises and marks on their bodies.
Yep. Now I have heard that, and I've talked to people that had that happen. Yes.
Right. And I only
Mhm.
researched it after we got done with the Mirador, after we experienced the man across the street that
Mhm.
you told us his name. We didn't tell you his name. That was
No.
in the house when we were, not
Yeah.
by human form. He had come in.
Mhm.
He had to have the noises, the lights, um, just the noises.
Right.
So when Mary brought it to my attention about what was going on, and you told us when we were stuck on the couch calling you that morning, you and Sylvia were at Splash. Um, that's when you told us the name. That's how we put it all together. So it didn't
Mhm.
come to us naturally. It didn't come to me naturally at all. Um, the the things that we experienced made sense after Mary says he is astral projected. And
Okay.
when we went into the house, there was a squishy part of the house that I experienced only, not Mary and not the other gal that owned the home. Um,
Okay.
and she said,
Explain.
"What?
I'm sorry. Explain what you mean by squishy part.
I don't know." It when I walked to that spot, which I never experienced, um, it felt like I was walking on foam or
Okay.
watered press wood.
Hmm.
It was very squishy.
Did you check
Very,
the
that's what the
flooring to
lady
make?
told us. Go ahead.
Did you check the flooring to make sure that it wasn't the
It was
actual
solid.
floor itself? It was solid.
It
Okay.
was solid. Yep, we
Okay.
did. We debunked everything.
Good.
That's
Okay.
when the lady told us that right above us used to be a stairway that used to go up to the Widow's Peak, which really isn't a Widow's Peak. It's a corridor, and then you go into two bedrooms. So
Hmm.
that's where he looked out, where it was glass. He
Yeah.
looked out, the man at the first homeowner, in the 18 or 1700s. So that is why we think it got wet down there at one time, and I was feeling residual. Um, it snowballed into, then by the next morning, we'd only had a couple hours sleep when we got up, and we put it all together.
Yeah.
It was strenuously, um, well, you talked with us,
Yeah.
after we text you, and we made that decision to just text you and leave you a message, and then you walked us through it
Yeah.
by telling
And
us
then
who it was.
then you
We
said, "Oh
called.
hell no, call her."
Oh yeah, we did because we needed your imaging to come through, and then
Yeah.
it started to go together with the
Yeah.
him trying to scare us, and again, not in body form, in
No,
freaking.
he was definitely in spirit form whenever I connected with him, and that's whenever I gave you guys the name of John and Anna,
Yeah,
and
it was
Anna
Anna.
being his
Yes.
Anne, and Anne,
Yep.
being his wife,
Yep.
and definitely what you guys found out, that the man and the woman across the street from the Mirador,
Yeah.
um, their names are John and Anne.
They are.
So
They
I
are
had no
because we went
clue.
through all. Yeah, we went through all the books to see if we could find a John, and we did. We did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we didn't put it together when
Mm-mm.
she was talking to us earlier about John owning the home before and was
Mm-hmm.
upset because he couldn't get the house back for cheap and was upset about that. And you know that each time we visited that home, to and fro, coming to and fro, um, he was in his yard mowing his grass.
Being
Mowing his
nosy.
grass.
Mowing his little grass, being nosy,
There was no
about
reason to mow his
the
grass
house.
the 2 days that
Yeah.
we were there. There was no reason for that. It's a little square yard.
Yeah.
So it all came together. And that's the first time I experienced um, ast- astral projecting. And you tied it all in because um, just by what you told us, we didn't know. You told us. We put it together by the literature that we got in the home, that in the book that she has kept notes on. And the
Mm-hmm.
whole night that we were sitting on the couch, um, the lights in the other room, the Christmas balls going off and all that, the pictures that we got of the toes and stuff like that, and we saw cars go by,
Yeah.
and they went by at a snail's pace, and we could
Mm.
not figure out because I told Mary, stay down, let me just look and see what's going on. They went by as a snail's pace, and Mary said, "Well, they're looking at what's going on upstairs."
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
that set us off again.
Sounds like you had a bunch of nosy
2020.
neighbors. Yeah. Sounds like you had a bunch of nosy neighbors that wanted to know what was going on inside the house.
Well, no, these were people in cars.
Yeah, that's what
These
I'm
were
talking about.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. But you couldn't see us. I mean, now we had every light on that house on, but we were sitting on the front front foyer living room. They have all these little nicky nackety rooms and air couch in every room,
Hmm.
and they would start there and go down, and then once they turned, it was a snail's pace. It was. And then when Mary said, "Well, they're looking at what's going on upstairs." Well, we
Yeah.
heard it, but we weren't going up there, you know.
Yeah.
And I paid for a room that I didn't sleep in, so you know, I don't care how much it was.
Well, I've never known you two to be as I don't want to use the word scared, but as upset as you guys were that night when you called me, because you guys were pretty worried about what was going on
Yep,
and everything. So there was
yep,
a lot of activity there that night. I
yep,
mean, a lot. And sadly, the home has been sold from the previous owner that, let you guys in
yep.
to do the paranormal investigation there. So we're not able to get back into there. I was not able to be with y'all that weekend because of a scheduling thing that I
Yeah,
was with Sylvia, and we'd already prepaid for it to be over at Splash. And so,
yep.
yeah, I hate that I missed it, but we're not going to
It
be
was
able to get back
good.
up in there now.
It was good.
You
The
know,
first
hey,
four
baby.
hours. Yeah, the
Yeah,
first 4 hours we didn't move our luggage. We just opened up our bag and we
yeah,
began to try to figure out what was going on.
yeah.
But we made it out of the house twice and we kept going back for trouble. And
Well,
that's
that's what
when
I asked when you guys talked to me. I said, "You made it out once. Why didn't you take
yeah,
your gear and stuff with you?" So,
no, then the second time we went for dinner about 9, 10 o'clock and that's when the kitchen light went out and it was
yeah,
on again. It was on again.
yeah.
That's the first time I've ever been aware of that. But and then when I did research on it today, like you, Sylvia, did you say you did research on it too?
No, but I was just looking at something. It was an article um, that was published in 2014. They did an MRI on a young woman that um,
Wow.
uh, it was February 10th, 2014. They did an MRI on this young woman that supposedly could do this at will.
Right.
Oh wow.
I've heard of that.
that she could do this at will, and she was moving outside the boundaries of her physical body, but she could still see and was aware of her unmoving body.
Hmm.
And I'm really not going to go over all the stuff about the brain because I can't pronounce that, but because I was like
Pronounce a lot of the words, huh?
going like, well,
Well, is that the same one? Oh, we're
yeah,
losing her. Is is that the same one that said that she was out of her body and went somewhere, and the people that were out of their body saw her? Is that the same lady?
I'm trying to get back. They were talking about she was talking about how she started doing this as a child.
Oh
That
man.
when she,
Wow.
yeah, she was in daycare, that she would get bored with whenever they would have to do nap time.
Yeah.
So she would do this. Here it is. The participant was a right-handed woman. She was age 24 at the time they did the MRI, and she was a psychology graduate student at the time. And she said that the she said she spontaneously reported after class that she could have an out of body experience. Basically, wanted to. She appeared surprised that not everyone could experience this. And she described her experience as one she began performing as a child when bored at sleep time at preschool.
Huh.
She discovered she could elicit the experience of moving her body and using it as a distraction during the time that other kids were taking naps.
Hmm.
But yet she could still see her body in rest, even though she was above. She said she was able to see herself rotating in the air above her body, lying flat and rolling along a horizontal plane.
Oh my
Th- That's crazy because, you hear of people having near death experiences, which I have had one. And some of them, now I did not float above my body and see my body laying on the gurney or anything, but some people say that they see that. So
God. Mhm.
my mind is thinking, when you astral project, you're doing the same thing, but and then there's the near death experience. You see where my mind's going, you
Right.
know? Um, is it a gift that a person's born with, like all of the gifts that we have on the team, and other people that I know in my circle, which my circle has gotten very small within this past year, but the ones that are still in that circle, they all have certain gifts. And is astral projection a gift that some of us are born with and some of us can use? Or is it a learned thing like this young woman did when she was in daycare?
How did she know to teach herself that?
I'm
It
not sure.
it just kind of, from what she said, it was just something she could do. She may not even have been aware, maybe she's just one of these people that could do it. And when
Yeah.
she said she was initially surprised that everybody couldn't do it
Mm-hmm.
when she was
Hmm.
described. So I don't know, but they did say there were certain changes in the cerebellum whenever they did the MRI, and they how did they say, um, it produces sotomasensory sensation. How do you say that? SOMATO sensory sensations that are experienced as her body is moving outside the boundaries of her physical body, all the while remaining aware of her unmoving physical body. And they did find um, different parts of the the brain that were activated more on the left side than on the right side. So
Right.
they did find things that were going on in her brain while that was happening.
I almost wish that Mercedes was here on the show with us tonight.
Does she
And
do
if I'd
that?
have thought about it, because she works with the brain and does things in her mass list of everything that she
My
does.
God,
The
yes.
woman's phenomenal.
My God.
She is into everything, and she sings, she produces, she does all kinds of different things. She's just amazing. So I feel like she could have give us some enlightenment tonight on this subject because she works with the brain. And while you were talking about that, Sylvia, and was telling us about the cerebellum and stuff, um, I had my brain clicked again because my brain goes out and left field a lot thinking about things as we're talking about it. Telekinesis is another thing that the brain, people that have that extra whatever it is in the brain, they can move things at will just by sitting here and thinking about it. Like if I had this pen and I had telekinesis, I could take it, stand it up, and it would stand up by itself, or move or whatever, because who had that? There's a movie out. I can't
Hmm.
remember the movie, but I remember seeing it about a child that had telekinesis. I know the movie Carrie had it, but that's a horror story, horror movie. But there was another one that I happened to come across that had a young girl that could do telekinesis and move things with her mind. So is it all connected?
I do not want to
Is
leave my body. No.
I would like to lose this body and go into another younger body and me, and not have all the ailments that I do. That would be absolutely great. Um,
Well,
but
they talk about super soldiers that they can
oh
do
my
that.
gosh, yeah, super soldiers, yeah. Um, is all of this connected?
It
You
has to
know,
be.
well,
Has to be.
I'd like to think that it is, but you never know. You never.
Well,
There's so many things out there that we have yet to come to knowledge of, and the scientists and researchers that are out there that look at this kind of stuff, you know, um, you just don't never know. Have you ever had anything like astral projection, Sylvia?
No, I was just looking at that's what the only thing I can add is what I can find. I've never,
That's great, though. Yeah,
me
fine.
too.
but it says I was looking at another article about it says astral projection facts and theories, but it says that the idea that humans can leave their bodies during dream state is ancient. Countless people from New Agers to shamans around the world believe it's possible to commune with cosmic intelligence through visions and vivid dreams experienced during astral projection.
Yeah.
And they talk about a a society, a philosophical I can't society. The society
The
itself it,
theophilosophical.
it doesn't look like that, but we'll go that way. The philosophical
I'm trying to read your lips.
Okay.
the society itself founded in New York in 1875.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it was founded by this lady named Helena, and she claimed to have traveled the world, studied with Tibetan gurus, contacted the dead, and learned to reach higher planes with Hindus and Buddhists. And apparently, that's where she first experienced this astral.
In 18 what?
1875.
Well, I give up.
That's way before our time.
Oh my gosh. They outrank us, you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I'm saying. Researchers and scientists and just some probably laymen like we are, just
Yes,
researching this stuff. They've looked all this stuff up back, hundreds
they've
of
done
years
it.
ago.
They've
Yeah,
done it.
they've done it. Everything comes around in a circle.
Right. I agree. I
Back,
agree.
and I'll give you for instance, and this is an easy one where everybody can press their mind on it. Remember back, okay, I'm not going to be fearful of saying it. I'm 63 years of age. When I was growing up, it was the 70s and 80s, okay? And back in the 70s, I remember bell bottom jeans. Do y'all remember bell bottom jeans?
I got them.
Or bell bottom jeans,
I
baby.
wear them all the
Oh,
time.
I know. We all wore them to school, and they were the hip huggers. You remember the hip hugger
Yes.
bell bottom jeans? They were the thing, baby. If you didn't have them, you were just out in the
Right.
cold. Okay, but my grandkids, they haven't had the hip huggers that I know of, but bell bottom jeans come back around, and they thought it was the coolest thing. And I had to burst their bubble, and I was like, been there, wore those, you know.
Here's the picture.
And they're like, "What, Mama?" And I said, "Yeah, I used to wear those whenever I was your age as a teenager." I
Yeah.
said, "Everything comes around. That's fashion. That's religion. That's government. That anything that you can think of has a circle, has a cycle, and I believe that it comes around." So, here we are in 2024 discussing astral projection when back in 1875 people probably sat around and did just exactly what we're doing tonight. You know what I
Right.
mean?
And then
Yeah,
practiced
Um,
it.
that
yep.
book that I'm talking about, the society I was talking about that was founded in 1875,
Wow.
teaches there are 7 bodies of man. Seven. And the
Seven.
seven. And the third is the astral body.
Hmm.
And they said the astral body can leave the physical and ethereal bodies behind and travel on the astral planes. So they're saying there's 7 bodies of man, the third of which is the astral.
Hmm. Okay.
Wow. So does that take you into time traveling or changing your timeline or that's just
Well,
all kinds of things.
I kind of wonder if it isn't also meditative, like some people go do
Oh,
meditation, kind of go
yeah.
into a state where it kind of changes
Meditate.
their chemistry and all that. That's kind of connected.
Yeah. It's a possibility. I mean, everything that we could figure out about this is just endless. You know what I mean? Um, and it would probably take other shows for us to sit down and have Mary back on with us and um, discuss all this because it's just like if you stop and
It
think
is.
about it, it blows the mind.
It's overwhelming what your
Yes.
body really can do. I
Yeah.
mean, we
Uh,
we're just we're just white warriors and run amok and do the best we can.
right.
We're not like we're not up there. We're here,
Yeah.
you know.
We'll have
Our
either one of
ancestors could
you
have done it.
could have either one of you. Now I've had this multiple times. Lay down, go to sleep, go into a deep sleep, but then I'm jolted awake because in my dream I was falling. And
Yeah,
have you ever had that falling dream and then all of a sudden you're just jolted, back to your present state and where you're at. I've had that happen multiple times,
yeah. I have
dreaming of falling.
either or I'm being chased by a big red dog. That's happened to me as well. And
So, not snorting yourself awake, is that the same thing?
That's Cliff. You've been chased by Clifford the big red dog.
I mean, is that the same
I
thing?
don't know.
I snort myself awake and you get chased by a dog.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Also,
Um, I don't think I've ever been chased by Clifford.
No, I haven't.
And then
No.
the thing, another part of it may be the experience of deja vu. Have y'all ever had that where you go
Oh,
some?
100 times.
Yeah,
Yes.
feel like
100
Yes.
times we have.
Yeah.
is that me? Yeah,
I've had it
Right.
meeting people, whenever you meet somebody for the first time and it's like that you've known them all of their life and
Yeah.
that you were with them before somewhere else. And then also, like we've gone off on vacations and stuff like that back when the kids were younger. And we would go to a place that we hadn't been. And I knew every aspect of the place where we were going because it felt like I had been there before.
right,
I get that feeling when I go up to the Smoky Mountains. I feel like my soul or my spirit or me as another entity has been there before. Because I love the place. I would go up
Yeah.
there and live if I could. If my family was not here, that's where I'd be living, is up in
Mine's
the
the
Smoky
Tetons.
Mountains.
Yep, the
Mm-hmm.
Tetons.
Yep. Yep. I
Where's
absolutely
yours,
love
Sylvia?
that area.
Where's yours, Sylvia?
mine happened to me when I went to visit an old church in
Ooh.
in Virginia. Actually, um, I was there with my ex-husband, and it's a very, very old church. And I got I got that feeling while I was there. I knew where some doors were that weren't obvious. I mean, it was kind of odd, but I did have that experience.
Hmm.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And it was in Virginia?
Yeah,
Huh. Now, did you have it just at the church or did you have it around the area
no,
where you were at just the
that's
church? Okay. Hmm.
it was
Have-
odd.
Yeah, it's strange. It very much so. Um, well, it's kind of like Sandy when I met you. Um, it was like that you and I had known each other for a long time. And you have said that
Mhm.
to us several times that you, me, and Mary were in past lives together.
Mhm.
So how do you feel about that?
Me
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
Sylvia? Oh, yeah, no. I think the feeling is, and the feeling that I had, I don't know how to say it, because we just live it every day. Um, it gets stronger, and the doors open for more of what we've done together. And
Yeah.
I think in other lives, um, and I am right now in a community of people that I have been with in the 1800s. I've got Marguerite behind me. I've got Helen over here, and I've got Bob over here, who probably was, we're not sure yet.
Yeah.
But all my surrounding people I have been with in past lives in this neighborhood. And when my sweetheart moved me here, um, I don't think he realized, but you find your way back to your spot.
Mhm.
And then, of course, when he took me to other places, when we did vacations, there's a couple places there, Portugal for one, and then the Tetons for another one that I have been to, and I knew the roads. But
Oh, that's awesome.
but with and then this leads to another question of, I know about you and me and Mary, and then you know more as you do things together.
Right.
And like you're like I'm not as intuitive as you guys are. So when it comes to me, I have to tell you
Yeah.
or write it down. And then I tell you some things and you said, yeah, that was just told to me.
Mhm.
Right. So, I mean, I think it's just sweet that we go and have those feelings and stuff. You
Yeah.
know, I think it's
And
great.
and then we
I think,
bring and add, hey there, girls.
Hunting
We got the
housewives.
yes, ghost hunting housewives. Good evening, girls. We're looking forward to having you guys on with us next
Yeah.
week. So we're looking extremely forward to that.
Fun.
Yeah.
So
Um,
anyway, yeah, about getting
when we
together
brought,
and
yeah, and when we brought Sylvia into the group, the three of us, it's
then
just like she was the missing piece to the puzzle. When she came in, she just fit, and
wrong
the
voice.
the four of us together is. I'll have to explain it to you guys that are listening to us and watching us, and those of you that'll watch this later. When we're together, the four of us, we don't want to leave. We don't want to leave each other because we are talking about things, discussing things, having a good time
Yeah,
wherever we're at and wherever we
yeah,
go. When we're out like goodwilling and shopping and stuff, people will come up to us and say, okay, you girls are having way too much fun. What are y'all into? People are drawn to us every single place that we go. And
yeah.
and with me, it's not only adults, it's little kids that are drawn to me. They will stare me down until I look at them and smile at them and do my hands like that at them, and wave at them. And it's crazy. It's like that. I don't know. We're magnets for other people that may be hurting in their life, maybe don't get a kind word from their loved ones or whatever, and they just need somebody to smile at them and talk to them and ask them how are they doing, which is what we do. How you doing, what you looking for, what you shopping for. We
Mhm.
Yeah, we just open up to them, and I think that a lot of people in the world need that. you know we're not definitely not scared to talk to people, that's
No.
for sure.
But I do think it's fun that when we play with our crystals, when we go places, that when I bring the citrine
Yeah.
and the white, and I point them out when I put it on the table, and the kids just are attracted to you. And
Yeah.
we often, I mean, and it's a joke between me and Mary that I bring the citrine and I leave it in my purse just to watch the kids come over to you. Because we like it when you
Yeah.
don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Well, we wherever I've noticed, wherever we go, we try to put out a good aura about ourselves. We try to put out
Out there.
positivity, and
Mhm.
we look at people in the eyes and we smile, and most of the time they smile back, and then that sparks up a conversation across the
Yeah.
tables or outside, wherever we may be. I've always had that saying, when you're out and about, if you see somebody that doesn't have a smile, then give them one of yours, and it makes people's day. Hey, girls, can you read that?
Yeah, Carol and
Um,
I have spent 7 past lives together. We
oh,
even have
wow.
telepathic connections. We feel each other's ailments. Holy, see,
Oh, wow.
that's another
Wow.
like step up.
Yeah. We were
Holy
just talking
crap.
about that, about, feeling each other's emotions and ailments and stuff like that, and astral projection. So when you girls are on next week with us, next Wednesday night, then we will discuss all that and get into that with y'all too, because we'd love to hear about that.
Absolutely.
7 past lives together. Wow.
Yeah, see, I don't know how many we have, but when you went into the hospital, remember me, you, and Sylvia, we ran amok. We were going in, we didn't know what direction to go in, and it was catastrophic almost,
Yeah.
you know, but
And
yeah, it was weird that we couldn't align. That was
it was
weird.
it was weird for me too, because I was in the situation. I was so sick and hurting so bad. And for those of you guys that don't know, I just got out of the hospital. I had massive and extensive blood clotting in both of my legs,
No,
and the blood clots went into my lungs. So I was a very sick lady.
Yes.
And the doctors told me that I should be dead. So I'm here for a reason. But
right.
the whole time that I was in there, when I did get my cognitive brain back about me because of the pain medications that they had me and stuff on, I felt weird because you girls were keeping in touch with me through text and stuff, and then you were coming up as you could. But I felt weird. I felt disconnected from you guys because I knew that I couldn't get to you, that I was stuck there in the hospital and then the rehab place learning to walk again because the blood
No.
clots had prevented me from walking because it swelled up my legs. I gained 40 pounds of fluid.
Oh, yeah.
40 pounds, 40 extra pounds to this already big body, and it prevented me from walking. I had to go to the rehab to learn to walk again. So,
Mhm.
yeah, that was crazy. But,
We did
yeah, I
it.
felt the disconnection. So it's
Yeah, we
weird
did
that you
too. I
guys
think, yeah,
felt it
we did
too.
too. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
that's
No,
crazy.
Well, it's
Well,
hard to write it, and when we are, it seems like we start craving each other. Like we need to get
yeah,
together. We
yeah, we do.
we need let's have a lunch date, or let's go do this or that. You kind of crave the fellowship of that other person,
You
and that
do.
be where we are.
We'll text each other and say, "Hey, we need a sister day." I want to see your face, or I want to
right.
hear your voice. you know. So,
Around
yeah,
food, we need food.
yeah, and food too. Yeah, yeah. It's crazy. The
Yeah,
deja vu and the when you meet people for the first time, but yet you feel like you have known that person for many lifetimes, and you know a lot of things about them, and you can stand there and tell them things about themselves, and vice versa, them about you. You know that your soul has connected with that person somewhere, sometime, down through your lifetime or multiple lifetimes. A lot of people don't believe in multiple lifetimes. Um, I, for one, tend to think about it, but I also, that cynical side of me that knows the Bible and knows how I was raised and stuff. That side of me doesn't believe, but the other side of me that is so intrigued about stuff of that nature, I tend to want to say, okay, then if we haven't lived lives before, then how do we know deja vu? How do we feel about that? How do we know people that we've never met before, in this lifetime? So, it's tricky. It messes with your head, and
Well,
I'll tell you,
think
huh?
it makes
Huh?
you think. It makes you think. Maybe it makes you open to
Oh,
more
yeah.
experience. Maybe you know.
Definitely, definitely. And I'll tell you this is kind of cool. When Trey, my now son-in-law, was dating my daughter, he wanted to come to us and ask for my daughter's hand in marriage. And of course he did. And of course we sat him down and we did the talk. You don't do this to her, you treat her right, blah, blah, blah. And then I was sitting there as he was talking to me and my husband, and I just looked at him. I said, "There's a boy child coming." And he goes, "What?" I said, "There's a boy child coming." I said, he told me that he's coming. And I said, "It's a little boy." And he just says, "Mom," he says, "how do you know that?" I said, "I just do." I said, "I can't explain it." I said, "It's one of those things that I get that, will scare some people off." But I said, "I know that a boy child is on his way." And he kind of, okay, well, I'll be happy about that because, he had two daughters from previous relationship, and he wanted a boy. And of course, Brittany, she had the two children from a previous marriage that she had. And so a couple of nights after I told him about a boy child coming, that little booger, and I'm speaking about the baby, he came to me in a dream. I saw him very vividly, knew what he looked like, and he come up to me in that dream and he goes, "Hi, Mama." He said, "I am your new grandson." And I went, okay. I said, now the proof is in the pudding. I waited 9 long months for that
Yeah.
baby to be formed and be born into the world. And I swear on a stack of Bibles, and you're not supposed to swear on the Bible, so I'll take that back. But I will swear on my old broken heart that that baby was exactly as I saw him in my dream. He had the black hair, the cold jet brown eyes, and the cutest little old munchkin face. I mean, he was just a baby doll, and he looked just like I saw him in my dream.
Hmm.
So
Golly.
how do you explain that? If a child that has not even been conceived yet, how can it come to
I can't
you
do it.
and explain, okay, I'm your grandson and I'm coming?
Well, you've done that every place we've gone. Sloss Furnace, when you got sick coming out of that, when they killed that guy down there,
Yeah, yeah,
everywhere we have gone, you've told us what it is, where it's at. That's why we
yeah.
called you or text you that morning. We never expected for you to call us back because we thought maybe you'd be sleeping,
Oh
um,
no.
but you weren't. Well, so you already have that. I don't
That
have that.
weekend That
Mary
weekend was
has that.
torture for me and Sylvia. I mean, I couldn't do anything with Sylvia, and it was her
Sorry,
vacation,
Sylvia.
and I was sick at my stomach and having problems, and it was just torture. So I was up, and that's when you guys texted. I said, okay, I'll call, so,
The
but,
bathroom, as a matter of fact.
huh? What?
I said you were probably in the bathroom up.
No, she was outside
No,
on the porch.
not at that point in time. I wasn't, because
No,
you
she
had to
was
walk too
outside on,
far from
yeah.
that cotton picking stagecoach that we were living in
And
or
she was
staying in. It was the pits, man. It
You're
was
going in and out,
terrible.
Sylvia. You're going in
Yeah,
and out, honey.
I
yeah.
said, well, I the where we were staying, there were no bathrooms in the units. There
Yeah,
was
that's what she said.
a bathroom out. They were very nice, but you had to walk to the bathroom. And
Girl,
if Sarah walked once, walked 100 times, poor tummy was driving her crazy. Right.
there was nothing in that thing. All we had was a TV and an air condition and a bed. I'm telling you, it had no refrigerator, no anything like that, no sink, no nothing. We had to
You weren't
walk.
getting you weren't getting any kind of good vibe
No,
like me and Mary were. You were
no,
getting tormented.
no,
You should have been. We
no.
cussed you all the way home.
Mm.
You're a conduit. We go
Yeah.
places, we send Sarah out in the beginning. Okay, see what attaches to her. And
Oh
then
yeah, you
then
said.
we'll let you know what's going on.
Yeah, you send ghost bait out. So that's what you guys named me, was ghost bait. So yeah, yeah, I hear you all right.
Oh, we don't hide it. You're just so good at it. You don't turn it away. So
No, I've never run from anything. Now I did cry one time, whenever Mary and her husband Greg was with me, and we were at this hotel, and we definitely knew that it was demonic. We saw it on our video cameras on the screen at base camp, where we had the screen and stuff all
all
set
that
up with the
where it
cameras in the
jumped,
room.
where it jumped
It
the window.
Oh yes,
Is that
yes.
the
Whenever
one?
it jumped through the window. Oh yeah,
God
yeah.
almighty.
It was absolutely nuts. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the video is still on Shadow Chasers Facebook page. But that I did cry because I knew what I was looking at. I knew what we were going to have to face. And let me tell you, it was a booger to face. And the owner of the hotel did not want us to get rid of it.
Oh.
We were told verbatim, you can hunt all you want, but don't get rid of it. Whatever you find, do not get rid of it. Because why? It was good for his business.
Maybe he was the attachment. It was the
Um,
attachment to him.
well, he did get in trouble. He was on the Channel 3 news for some bad stuff that he was doing to his daughter and her dog. And if you guys
Oh,
remember, you'll know
yeah,
who it is. Yeah.
I do. I do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and we bound it to the room that we found it in
Right.
because it was weird when that room would come up on the rotation to be rented. It always skipped that number and went to the next number. So that room never got rented out at
Hmm.
all. Yeah. Yeah. The girls that rented out the rooms there told us that number of that room never got rented out because every time it got from the room before it, it would just skip that room and go straight to the next room to be rented.
Hmm.
So the only logical thing, we didn't want it out and about where it could hurt anybody because this thing was evil. Let me tell you, you could see it and feel it. The hairs on your arms and neck and legs and stuff would just stand up. It was so evil.
Hmm.
And so we bound it to that room. But after we bound it to that room, everything was fine. And then along come this other guy that stayed there in the hotel. He was a transient. He had broken down. His van had broken down, and he asked the one that's there now that is running the hotel and the restaurant. Asked him could he stay there, and of course, out of generosity, he let him stay. And guess which room that he asked for? He
Okay.
asked for that very room. Oh yes.
Did he get in it?
So, oh yeah, he got in it
Did he
and
get out of
stayed
it?
in it. Now here's the crazy thing about this. Now one night we can do a whole show on this if you want to, but um, this guy went nuts and he started doing hieroglyphics and stuff all over the walls. The mattress, he soaked it down with like water and it was just pouring water and sweat or whatever. He opened after that. See, the window was sealed when this thing was moving around in the room and flying the curtains up and stuff like that. The AC was off, the fan was off, and the window had been painted shut and nailed shut. Okay. And this thing still was making those curtains fly up and down and around and stuff. And so that's why we bound it to that room because we didn't have authority to get rid of it because the owner didn't want us to. So this guy went in that room and did all these hieroglyphics on the walls. He wet the mattress. He done all kinds of different things. And he told the people in the bar that his name was Michael and that he was sent there to release that thing from that room.
Wow.
Yeah, I told you, Melanie told me he's not in that room anymore.
Yeah, I know he's not in that room
And
anymore.
we passed by on our bikes. She has never been in the hotel.
Mm, yep, it,
Wow.
it's something. Let me tell you. And I know other paranormal groups have gone in there and everything. And I don't know. I've been told by some of them because I'm friends with some of them. They have told me that they've not gotten the things that we got from there. And
Oh,
I'm like, well, everybody's different. Each paranormal team is different, and they operate um, differently and do things. I said, I'm sorry that you didn't get what we got. I wish to God that people could go in there and experience the things that we experienced there. And
yeah.
even around at the hospital back there in the circle, that place was off the frickin' chain too, as well. Yeah, I've seen some
Good.
crazy stuff, y'all. Crazy stuff, and
And
y'all
see,
know some of it.
that leads to another thing. We've gone in after other paranormal groups just to cleanse, and we get stuff that they didn't get,
Right.
and we end up debunking stuff that
Mm-hmm.
they said was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't play.
No, because like I was talking to somebody today, and that conversation lasted about an hour, and I'm not going to give away who it is because they are a potential guest on the show, and I'm
Wow.
excited about bringing this person to the show. Very well known person. So, but we were talking about the paranormal stuff and everything, and he was giving me his opinion on everything. And you got to be ready. You got to know what you're doing because, just like he said, and we all know, and you just said it, it's not something to play with. It is something to be serious about. And, you got to have a mindset of knowing what to do and how to do and when to do it, you know? Um, I go in and I try to be as calm about things as I can. And then, um, if they don't show themselves to us and they want
Mhm.
to act coy and shy, then I'm ghost bait. I'm the one that tries to draw them out.
Not so
And
much.
most of the time, most of the time I do. I do draw them out.
You
So,
do.
yeah, we've
But
seen
we
a
don't
lot,
go in
girls.
looking for trouble. We go in
No,
and help the families. That's all we are known for. And if
right,
we don't get anything, we don't get anything. The
right.
last one we just did, we still have to go back and cleanse that land. We haven't
Yeah.
done that yet.
Yes,
But
because I got sick and
I know,
we weren't
I know.
able to go back. So yes, we definitely need to get up with that family and go cleanse the property for them.
But what
So
I'm saying
yes.
is we don't look for it. If they say, yeah, this is what we got,
Mhm.
um, then okay, I'll try to find it and help
Yeah.
you. But I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to go in naked and figure out what
Right.
they think they have.
Yeah,
So
we don't like to get a big long laundry list of things that are going on or what's happened here or what's
because
happened there.
residual stuff will always
Yeah.
be
We like to go in and be as raw as we can and see what we pick up,
right.
as we have come into, wherever it's at,
But
be
yeah, I
it
think we need
house
to go
or
back and
business.
do that land and just from what'd she say, the
Yes,
1700s. It was like
yes,
from when they had that, and see that's already done and gone. I'm sure the blood's still on the land, but I mean,
right,
I don't think
right.
well, we just go clean it,
Yeah, just cleanse the property.
don't
And
overthink it.
I've talked back with the family, and they said after we left, everything was just as peaceful and calm. They came back the very next day and started packing and doing all the things that they needed to do. And they said the house felt like a completely, totally different home.
Oh, you're talking about the one where the family, the dad and the two children. I'm
Yes,
talking about the girls that we and
yes,
the
and
pregnant girl. That's the land we need to do. But the one
yes,
with the dad and the two kids, that we found out that the dad and
yeah,
the two kids just needed to be known. That's all they
right,
wanted.
right. They just
All
wanted
they wanted.
recognition. Yeah,
Right. And when you get a
yeah,
skeptic walking in, like you told me, and he gets goosebumps in that one room, I was all up in there. There was nothing. Mary was in
yeah,
the closet, we were
yeah,
all in corner to corner, each room, each corner to
yeah,
corner. But when we went to
yeah,
the kitchen and we got dad and the two children, and Sylvia, you were there with the
Yeah.
yeah,
children playing on the doll thing. And
yeah.
then we got them again in the kitchen. So we made that story from what they told us. The kid, the spirit man and the two kids.
Yes.
So
But
so
see,
we don't didn't you tell me
every
that the man went in and he was nervous, the skeptic guy, and
right,
that he was nervous about that one room? He was only nervous about that one room because they may have, just tried to step forward toward the man being the man and help this family, that kind of a thing, not to
right,
scare him. I don't go
right.
in with them trying to scare me.
No. Mm-mm. Well, girls, we are right now at 1 hour to the show, and we need to go ahead and end this for tonight. And this is definitely a subject that we need to bring to the table when Mary's here and discuss, some of the things that we discussed tonight and see her point of view on it. But it was very interesting. I mean, I love listening to things that, of that nature and learning new things. So it was really good. A good idea, Sandy. Thanks for bringing it up.
Only because I lived it.
Right. All right, girls. Well, thank y'all so much. And I hope y'all get a good night's sleep tonight. And I know Stan and Teresa, they're ready to hit the hay and get a good night's sleep. And we want to thank all you listeners out there and the ones that are following us. I apologize for not being able to handle the page while I have been sick, but I promise you I'll get back on there and I'll confirm all of the new follows and stuff that we've had and get to maybe send you guys a little note, a little text saying, hey, we're back, online and join us and everything like that. So thank y'all for your support and listening in and watching the show after we've recorded it. And y'all don't forget now, okay, the Paracomic-Con in Ozark, Alabama. The dates have been changed from October 4th and 5th to September 14th and 15th. So write that down on your calendar. Come out and see all the paranormal teams that'll be there. Of course, there'll be some celebrities there. You may know some of them. So, look on Webb Radio Network and Webb Paranormal Network and the Paracomic-Con web page and Facebook page, and you'll find out all the information about the people that'll be there and stuff. So write it down. Come see us. We would love to talk with you and hear your stories as well. All right, girls. Good night. God bless y'all. I love y'all.
Love you. Love
All
you
righty.
guys.
Yeah. And thank you guys again for listening in. We appreciate it. And this is Paranormal Sisterhood, and we are signing out for the night. God bless everybody.